Long ago, before the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there lived a powerful king who ruled over a vast kingdom. His authority was absolute, and the people feared him. But behind his throne was a secret that helped him maintain his influence over the kingdom. The king relied on an old magician. This magician had served the king for many years. He impressed the people and strengthened the king's rule. The people believed the magician possessed extraordinary powers, and this only increased the king's authority. But time spared no one. As the years passed, the magician grew old. His strength faded, and he realized that his life was nearing its end. One day he came before the king and said, I have become old. Send me a clever young boy so that I may teach him everything I know. The king agreed immediately. He ordered his men to search throughout the kingdom for an intelligent, trustworthy boy. Eventually, they found a bright young boy and brought him to the magician. From that day onward, the boy traveled every day from his home to the magician's place to learn. But Allah had planned something far greater for him. Along the path that the boy traveled, each day stood a humble place of worship where a righteous monk devoted his life to worshipping Allah alone. Unlike the magician, the monk neither sought wealth nor power. He simply worshipped Allah and called people to the truth. One day, as the boy walked toward the magician, he became curious about the monk and decided to stop. He entered and listened as the monk spoke about Allah. The words touched his heart in a way he had never experienced before. Everything the monk said felt sincere. Everything the magician taught suddenly seemed empty. From that day onward, the boy developed a new routine. Each morning, he would first visit the monk. He would sit quietly listening to him speak about faith, truth, patience, and reliance upon Allah. Only afterward would he continue to the magician. But because he arrived late every day, the magician became angry. He would strike the boy and ask, Why are you late? The boy had no answer. When he later reached home, he was also delayed, and his family questioned him as well. Confused and distressed, the boy returned to the monk and explained what was happening. The monk smiled gently and gave him simple advice. If you fear the magician, tell him your family delayed you. And if you fear your family, tell them the magician kept you late. The boy followed this advice, allowing him to continue learning from both men. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Every lesson from the monk strengthened the boy's faith. Slowly he began to recognize the difference between truth and falsehood. The magician relied on deception. The monk relied upon Allah. One day, while the boy was traveling as usual, he found the road completely blocked. A massive beast had appeared, terrifying everyone. People stood frozen. No one dared to approach. Then a thought crossed his mind. He said to himself, Today I will know whether the monk is upon the truth or whether the magician is. He picked up a small stone from the ground. Holding it firmly, he turned to Allah with complete sincerity. He prayed, O Allah, if the monk's way is more beloved to you than the magician's way, then let this beast be killed so that the people may continue on their path. With all his strength, he threw the stone. The stone struck the beast. The enormous animal collapsed and died instantly. Silence filled the road. No one could believe what they had just witnessed. The people slowly approached. The beast was dead. The road was clear once again. The boy stood still. His heart was filled with certainty. He immediately hurried to the monk and told him everything that had happened. The monk listened carefully. Then he looked at the boy with kindness and said, My son, today you have become better than me. I can see that Allah has blessed you with something great. Soon you will be tested. And when that trial comes, do not reveal my identity to anyone. The boy remembered every word. He had no idea how soon the test would begin. Not long after that remarkable event, Allah granted the boy something extraordinary. By Allah's permission, people who were suffering from illness began coming to him. The boy would pray to Allah alone for them, and many were cured. He never claimed that he possessed any power of his own. Instead, he always reminded the people that it was Allah alone who heals. News of the young boy soon spread throughout the kingdom. Among those who heard about him was one of the king's closest advisors, a courtier who had once held a respected position. Over time, he had lost his eyesight and had become completely blind. Desperate to see again, the courtier gathered many expensive gifts and set out to meet the boy. When he arrived, he placed the gifts before him and said, "If you restore my sight, all of these gifts are yours." The boy looked at him and calmly replied, "I do not heal anyone. It is Allah alone who heals. If you believe in Allah and place your trust in Him, I will ask Allah to cure you." The courtier reflected on the boy's words. Unlike the magician who claimed power for himself, this young boy claimed no power at all. He directed everyone to Allah alone. The courtier accepted faith in Allah. The boy raised his hands in supplication and prayer sincerely. By Allah's permission, the man's eyesight was completely restored. For the first time in many years, he could see once again. Filled with gratitude, the courtier returned to the king's palace. When the king saw him sitting in his usual place with his sight restored, he was astonished. "Weren't you blind?" the king asked. "Yes," the courtier replied. "And who restored your eyesight?" "My lord restored it." The king frowned. "Do you have a lord besides me?" The courtier answered with complete confidence, "My lord and your lord is Allah." Those words enraged the king. He ordered his guards to seize the courtier. The man was tortured relentlessly. The king demanded to know who had taught him these beliefs. Despite the pain, the courtier remained steadfast. Eventually, under immense torture, he revealed the name of the young boy. The king immediately ordered that the boy be brought before him. When the boy stood before the king, the ruler said, "I have heard that you have become skilled enough to cure the blind and heal diseases." The boy answered fearlessly, "I heal no one. It is Allah alone who heals." Those words were enough to fill the king with anger. The king demanded to know where the boy had learned such beliefs. The boy refused to answer. The king ordered that he be tortured until he spoke. Eventually, the boy mentioned the monk. The monk was brought before the king in chains. The king commanded him, "Abandon your religion." The monk refused. Again, the king ordered him to abandon his faith. The monk remained firm. The king then ordered that a saw be brought. The monk was laid upon the ground, and the saw was placed upon the middle of his head. It was drawn downward until his body was split into two. Yet he never abandoned his faith. Next, the courtier was brought forward. The king gave him the same choice: "Leave your religion." The courtier refused. He too was martyred in the same horrific manner, remaining steadfast until his final breath. The young boy watched everything unfold before his eyes. Even after witnessing such unimaginable cruelty, his faith did not weaken, instead, it grew even stronger. The king now turned his full attention to the boy. "If you do not abandon your religion," he warned, "you will suffer the same fate." But the boy refused. Realizing that torture would not break him, the king ordered a group of soldiers, "Take him to the top of the highest mountain. If he abandoned his religion, let him go. If not, throw him from the summit." The soldiers obeyed. They led the boy high into the mountains until they reached the very top. Standing at the edge, they gave him one final chance. The boy simply turned to Allah and prayed, "O Allah, deal with them however you will." Suddenly, the mountain began to shake violently beneath their feet. The soldiers lost their balance. One after another, they tumbled down the mountainside to their deaths. Only the boy remained safe. He calmly descended the mountain and returned to the king. The king was stunned. "What happened to those I sent with you?" The boy answered, "Allah saved me from them." Still determined, the king ordered another group of soldiers, "Take him out to sea in a boat, sail far into the water. If he refuses to abandon his religion, throw him into the sea." The soldiers carried out the command. When they reached deep water, they again demanded that the boy renounce his faith. Instead, he raised his hands and prayed, "O Allah, save me from them in whatever way you will." Immediately, the boat overturned. The soldiers drowned in the sea. By Allah's permission, the boy survived and returned once again to the king's palace. The king could hardly believe his eyes. For a second time, the boy stood before him unharmed. The king asked, What happened to those I sent with you? The boy replied, Allah saved me from them. The king now realized that no matter what he tried, he could not kill the boy. Then the boy said something unexpected. You will never be able to kill me unless you do exactly as I tell you. The king leaned forward. What must I do? The boy replied, gather all the people in one open place. Then crucify me upon the trunk of a tree. Take an arrow from my quiver, place it in the bow, and say, in the name of Allah, the Lord of this boy, then shoot. The king, desperate to end the matter once and for all, agreed. Messengers spread throughout the kingdom. Crowd gathered from every corner. The king had the boy tied to the trunk of a tree. Thousands watched in complete silence. The king took an arrow from the boy's own quiver. He placed it in his bow. Then, without realizing the consequences of his own words, he declared, in the name of Allah, the Lord of this boy. He released the arrow. It struck the boy in his temple. Moments later, he passed away. The crowd had witnessed everything. More importantly, they had heard the king himself acknowledge Allah. At once, the people cried out together, we believe in the Lord of the boy. The king was horrified. Instead of destroying the boy's message, he had spread it throughout his entire kingdom. Enraged, he ordered deep trenches to be dug along the roads. Huge fires were lit inside them. Then he announced, whoever refuses to abandon his faith shall be thrown into the fire. Many believers remained firm. One after another, they willingly entered the flames rather than deny Allah. Among them was a woman carrying her small infant. As she approached the edge of the blazing trench, she hesitated for a moment, fearing for her child. Then, by Allah's permission, the infant spoke, O my mother, remain patient, for you are upon the truth. Strengthened by those words, she stepped forward with complete trust in Allah. The Prophet Muhammad narrated this remarkable story to teach us that true faith often comes with great trials. The boy, the monk, the courtier, and the believing woman all chose faith over worldly safety. Their sacrifice became a timeless reminder that the truth can never be extinguished, no matter how powerful those who oppose it may seem.